Hello, it's Uncommon Fossil. Today I want to talk about Zacian ADP. That is an expanded deck, and an expanded deck within Pokemon TCG Live Beta. And the expanded is only available on the casual, not the rank ladder, and it's called a expanded is itself called a beta. So it's a beta within a beta. I think that's referencing the format here, which is a truncated expanded format. Traditionally, expanded format is from black and white onward, but here in live, it only goes from Sun and Moon onward, so we can access cards from Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, and Scarlet and Violet. So that means you can't access cards from black and white or X and Y. But I kind of like this format. It gets rid of some of the more oppressive control cards, so I don't enjoy going up against control on a regular basis. And there are some very strong control decks in expanded. And it takes away some of the donkability of decks too, because if you played PTCGO expanded on the ladder, there were just a lot of people that would just kind of grind donk decks as a way to get resources quickly, the way that ladder was structured. Also, the system here, I think, for quick games, you get less rewards, so I think it does discourage donk as a tactic, which is a good thing. And honestly, I kind of like it also because you can't net deck here. This format doesn't exist has never existed in a competitive way. It doesn't exist competitively now either. So you're on your own for deck building, which is fun here. So talking through this deck, and some of these cards you may be less familiar with because they've rotated a little while ago. It's the big dog here, or big star of the deck, is ADP. GX, it's Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia-GX, a tag team Pokemon, which means it gives up 3 prizes. It is 280 HP, and what makes it great is Altered Creation GX. For 1 Metal Energy, for the rest of the game, your Pokemon attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. That's okay, but then the next part is what really makes it great. If this Pokemon has at least 1 extra water energy attached to it, so you just need water, metal. Not that hard to get set up, even turn 1 going second. When your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out by damage from those attacks, you take 1 more prize card. So you knock out a single prize Pokemon, take 2 prizes, knock out a 2 prize Pokemon, take 3 prizes. So knock out 3 single prize Pokemon, game over. Knock out 2 prize Pokemon, game over. So very oppressive effect of the attack altered creation. And part of what's nice about it within this format is the supporter card Ranger can't be used. Ranger eliminates effects of attacks for the rest of the game, so that just, if they have a Ranger, it shuts off Alter Creation for the rest of the game. That's not an option. Your opponent cannot turn off Alter Creation, so it's safe to use. And it is, I think, a schoolyard bully deck. So if you're in the mood to bully people around, play this deck as an option, right? So Ultimate Ray, the other attack, is useful, and actually it's a very good attack after Alter Creation. Ultimate Ray for 3 energy, so 1 more energy than Alter Creation for full effect. Does 150 or 180 when it's boosted. It's okay. But again, you'll knock out a single prize Pokemon and take 2 prizes for it. But then the other part of the attack is you search your deck for up to 3 basic energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon any way you like. So you're setting up your future attacks with it. So that is very Arceus V-Star-like in that aspect of the attack. So a nice little pair of attacks there. And then afterwards, the big attacker, the big dog, is Zacian V. 220 HP is okay, but certainly very vulnerable. But Brave Blade does 230 damage for 3 metal energies. You can't attack next turn. Now 230 becomes 260 with Alter Creation, and we can bump that up to 290 to one-shot V-Stars, which we would get 3 prizes from. So a very useful card. We need a decent amount of switching because Brave Blade can't attack the next turn. So so we have the number of switch cards in the deck we'll see all. So it's very much a turbo deck. You want to set up do Alter Creation as quickly as possible. So cards to get there: Crobat V, which just rotated recently. Dark Asset ability when you play it from hand onto your bench, you can draw until 6 cards in hand. So a nice card for setting up. The really powerful card is this little mouse, the Dedenne-GX, with Dedenne Charge ability. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you can discard your hand and draw up to 6 cards. So really, really powerful ability. One of the strongest that was printed. So you can't do it more than once per turn. So you can't play a second Dedenne-GX and utilize that turn. But one of them really goes a long way to set you up. And then play Tapu Lele-GX. You can think of that as the same as Lumineon V. Wondrous tag ability. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, you may search your deck for a supporter card, reveal it, and shuffle your deck. So same effect as Lumineon V. You can use the energy drive attack because it's 2 colorless energy, although you're not using that very often, preferably not at all. Being a GX helps it to be searched out in the deck, as we'll see when we get to the trainers. Then added a new Pokemon, something that wasn't around when Arceus, when ADP Zacian was a standard deck. Radiant cards didn't exist then, but Radiant Greninja concealed card ability is very useful. Discard an energy card from hand and then draw 2 cards. Getting metal energy in the discard is useful for Metal Saucer. And we actually can attack with Moonlight Shuriken with the deck. It's for 3 energy, 2 water, 1 colorless. We do play 3 water energy. Again, you can accelerate energy to it from ADP if you want, if it fits your matchup. Then it does 90 to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon, and you discard 2 energy from it. So it's very unlikely you can stream attacks from it, but 1 attack, taking 90. You don't take extra prizes on the bench Pokemon, so just keep that in mind. But if you knock out opponent's bet engine, that might be the best option for in the mid game too. Then we have this card as kind of a safety backup, Aegislash V. It's a very mediocre V. Perhaps the deck should cut it. It's here for Sonic Edge attack for 3 energy, 2 metal, and a colorless. Does 130. Underwhelming. Boost to 160. Again, underwhelming, but it certainly can one-shot a single prize Pokemon for the most part, and that gets you 2 prizes, so not terrible there. But then the reason for it is this tax damage isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So if there's a walling effect on a Pokemon, this hits through it. So it's there. Certainly, originally it was played because Decidueye was a deck that these multi-prizers couldn't damage, so it was a solution to that. Anything that walls things off, or something that walls off basics because they're only basics, this would come into play. So perhaps it makes sense. Perhaps you want to cut this from the deck depending what matchups you're seeing. Energy, nice and simple. Only basic energies because that's what you can accelerate with ADP. 8 metal, 3 water is the count I play here. So trainers, some of these are older, so we'll give a little more attention to those. 2 Air Balloon, recently rotated. A tool you attach, your retreat cost is reduced by 2. Helps with the switching, right? Pays the retreat cost for a Zacian or any other of, I think, the Pokemon in the deck. No, ADP is 3 energy, so you only have to discard 1 if you have Air Balloon attached. 4 Metal Saucer to accelerate a metal from the discard to your bench metal Pokemon. Obviously very good with a Zacian deck. 2 Cherish Balls. You search your deck for a GX Pokemon, reveal it, put it to hand. This is why I think Tapu Lele is better than Lumineon V in this deck. I do think Cherish Ball is beneficial. 1 Big Charm adds 30 HP. Often would put it on ADP to make it a little tankier. I'm not sure if this makes sense in the deck with the it's hard. I'm not sure the meta, right, and expanded now, so may or may not make sense in the deck. I play 2 Viridian Forest. You can once during your turn you can discard a card from hand and then search for a basic energy. So it's a way particularly to get that water energy into hand. So it is useful. And it bumps the stadium because you want to get rid of Path to be able to use Zacian's ability or any ability of any of the GX Pokemon or the Crobat V. If you don't want to play this, you could replace it with a Chaotic Swell, and an Energy Spinner Chaotic Swell is a really good counter stadium. It bumps the stadium, but also when your opponent plays when the next stadium gets played, it discards Chaotic Swell, but it itself gets bumped too, so they have to then take that first turn, it can't get bumped by another stadium. So it kind of acts like 2 stadiums in terms of its level of protection. And then Energy Spinner searches for It's similar to Energy Search, but slightly better. It searches for 3 energy, I think, if you use it on turn 1, if I remember the phrasing correctly. So it searches for a basic energy. So that would kind of, so Energy Spinner, Cadex Swell could replace the Viridian Forest if you prefer that. Plays 4 Quick Ball, right? Quick Ball was the staple basic Pokemon search before Nest Ball, which is in standard now. Nest Ball, they go right on the bench, but that's not good for these Pokemon with these on-play abilities. So Quick Ball, you discard 1 card. Usually you have a card you can discard that you know you're not going to need for the game. And also the Metal Energy in the discards is a plus. And then you search for a basic Pokemon, put it into hand. 4 switch cards again. Got to stream these Zacians, get it in and out. 4 research just to help set up. 1 Echoing Horn, right? Put a basic Pokemon from your opponent's discard pile onto the bench. That kind of replaces the Mawile GX that the decks used to play. That is obviously a GX2 prizer. It's more searchable than Mawile, and its effect when it was played was you could take one of your opponent's cards from their discard pile and put it on the bench. So same effect as Echoing Horn. Echoing Horn's an item, which in one sense is better than a Pokemon, so you don't fill up the bench, not giving away a card you don't necessarily want to attack with. But of course, it's harder to get. You can't really search it out. You're going to have to hit into it when you want. But you do have the digging ability in the deck. You also may have to discard it early on, is common also, and you can't recover. 4 Acro Bike, that's a trainer, an item card that's a little bit older. Very nice card, similar to Trekking Shoes, but slightly different. You look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put 1 into your hand, and discard the other. So you get to see the 2 cards at the beginning and then make the choice. You have to discard 1. So if you have 2 cards that you really like, you're going to have to get rid of 1. Marnie, right? Each player shuffles their hand into the bottom of the deck. You draw 5, your opponent draws 4, so a little generally better than Judge because you get 5 instead of 4, but similar disruption. So, right, Marnie's rotated now, Judge has replaced it, but Marnie was the card before it, and Marnie's probably a little bit better because you see an extra card. Play 1 Forest Seal Stone. This is another card that wasn't certainly not around when ADP was in standard, but obviously it gives the V-Star power. None of these Pokemon has a V-Star power. You can attach it to your Crobat or your Zacian, and then search for any 1 card from your deck. So a nice way to help get set up, get that piece you need. Rusted Sword, just play 1 of those, might want to. This gives Zacian V's attack 30 more damage to your opponent's active. There's some other tools you could do. Zacian, I like Rusted Sword because Zacian's the big attacker, so that's really the one I want to boost most often. And it gives the boost to any type of card. You could play Choice Belt, that boosts by 30 also, but only to your opponent's Pokemon V. You could play Choice Band that also boosts by 30, but to Pokemon GX, I believe. It might do the EX with the capital EX, but not to EX with the lower EX. So, which the capital EX are not in this format, I don't believe. And then 3 Guzma. Excuse me, little throat issue there, which is better than Boss because Guzma, similar to Boss, you switch your opponent's bench Pokemon with the active. But then if you do, you also switch your active with one of your bench Pokemon, so it gives you an additional switch to help stream the Zacian. So Boss better than Guzma in this deck, and then 3 Energy Switch. That's really key to getting off the Alter Creation turn 1. You want to, excuse me, you want to Metal Saucer and Energy Switch onto your active ADP to use Alter Creation. Excuse me, just having a little drink here. It's been a bad spring for allergies. My throat lets me know it's unhappy with me at times. So sorry about that. Hopefully it calms down. It works through now. Expanded in live. At times you'll see a number of standard decks, which is unfortunate. Hopefully we see a true expanded deck, right? Like I said, it allows for creativity because you can't net deck here. Essentially, the expanded decks aren't around. There's a few content creators with a few videos, but not a lot. If you like this, if you want to see more expanded content, let me know. Comment, please do. I'm going to probably make a few more expanded decks and videos, but if, you know, depending on the interest level, I could prioritize that more. I also think within Expanded, it's unfortunate that you can't do friend requests within the game. That way, you can't. That's why you couldn't run a tournament on Limitless. So I'm going second maybe up against a standard deck, unfortunately. All right, so Acro Bike, see what we get here. Crobat doesn't give me much value this turn, so I'm going to take the Cherish Ball. I can get my ADP into play with water attached. I have Metal Saucer, so let me take the Zacian and get Metal in the discard. That's a plus also. So I want to get ADP down. Good. I will attach energy there. I will Zacian. Do I want to switch? I could switch, use my switch this turn. I'm not sure, though. I think I want to sit on it. I will accelerate to the benched Zacian. I'll use its Intrepid Sword. I will probably accelerate to it if I can. I didn't have an energy, so it didn't matter. Rusted Sword's a nice card. We'll see what happens here. I don't right now. Oh, actually, I can Alter Creation next turn. I would have preferred to go second because I want to try to pull off Alter Creation if I could. I'm not sure if I could have that turn. I didn't really hit the cards to do it. I could have then Cherish Ball for Tapu Lele, and then which then could have gotten a research. All right, so up against a Shadow Rider deck. Don't know if it's okay, so it is an expanded deck because, right, Incense, Quick Ball. So good, it's an expanded deck. Glad to see that. There are, unfortunately, a number of standard decks that you run into, people that seem to have probably misclicked and gotten into expanded by mistake. You know, it's fun seeing some of the decks. I don't know how interesting my opponents will be. I don't know how interesting mine is either. It's kind of a minor variation of what was out there. So I don't believe I need Aegislash. So I will discard him. I can't recover. I have Air Balloon. I have Switch. All right, I need a Metal Energy into hand. I don't want to gust my opponent. All right, I want to, let's see, I will Air Balloon, retreat, active. I will Intrepid Sword. I could, all right, I got the concede there. My opponent saw Alter Creation coming and didn't want to deal with it, right? Because they were going to be in trouble. And I wouldn't take any prizes that turn, right? And they were getting set up. So let's jump in again, see what happens. As you can see here, it says expanded beta, right? The beta within the beta. I think at this point, I understand why they don't have all the expansions in, right? They're struggling just to get standard working. They don't need to add black and white and X and Y cards with all the, having more interactions. It's just going to lead to more issues. But, I wish they would add the ability to do match requests, to request battles with friends within expanded like you can with standard. It would open up expanded, make it more viable, more interesting, more visible. It would also open up the possibility of a truncated GLC format and other things. So I wish they would add that in. I don't think that should be too hard. I would like to encourage Pokemon to do that. I'm making comments. Let's see what I got. So I will start Aegislash because I want to save I don't want to start Dedenne. I don't necessarily want Aegislash in play. All right, up against a Mew deck. A Mew is a very strong expanded deck. I put together a Mew deck myself with expanded cards. We'll see if this is it. Honestly, Mew is largely standard cards anyway, but then rather than the DTE, which reduces 20, you play the double, the DCE, double colorless energy, so it doesn't reduce damage. All right, glad to get rid of Pokemon Catcher because I play these support Pokemon. I don't want them getting knocked out. So I don't play Path to the Peak. I can't shut them off. They may play Path to the Peak. So bumping the stadium, although, did they play DTE? They did. All right, so this is a standard deck, unfortunately, by the look of things. Lost City, that's fine. Don't really care. I don't have Pokemon recovering anyway, so when the Pokemon's knocked out, it's gone anyway. So I need to All right, I need to pull off 8 Alter Creation this turn. That is simple. That's a simple plan, right, for me? So, ADP down, attach energy. Okay, I can bump the stadium. I'm going to bump the stadium anyway. I attach Metal Saucer. I would rather have not discarded that, but, you know, I have 3 more in deck. Attach Air Balloon. I can't, though it doesn't pay the retreat cost, does it? So maybe I should, that's fine. That's fine. I don't think I want that. I might not want, I might want to put Big Charm on him. So I want to get a Metal Energy in the discard, right? So doesn't matter. I can't Metal Saucer this turn. Anyway, let's just take a quick look here. Zacian. Maybe I should have done Air Balloon on the ADP. If I had a Zacian or somebody else, then I would have wanted Air Balloon. I forgot Aegislash was a 3 retreat cost, I gotta say. So it was sloppy on my part. I'm not sure I should have done anything different had I known, but all right, so not great here at all. So I have the possibility, it's a bit of an outside chance now though, right, of pulling it off. So I'm running through energy quickly. That could be a problem, right? Acro Bike, so I don't think I can do it, but I'll take Echoing Horn. I mean, if they knock out my ADP, I think it's game over essentially for me. So let me get rid of something here. I'll get rid of Echoing Horn. I want to get Zacian down, right? Just we'll see what happens. I'm very vulnerable here, for sure. Okay, I will attach Big Charm. I do have an energy switch, so I wouldn't mind attaching 1 energy to Zacian. We'll see what my opponent does. So I will put the 1 energy on Zacian. I could attach manually to ADP with the energy in hand. I could use energy switch to get the energy on to ADP. So that's okay. So they're roping, and they're going to knock me out, right? Let me think. I will send up Radiant Greninja. And that's okay. They want to get, obviously, Genesect out. They're going to be attacking this turn. They'll take prizes. Their choice belt, right? Choice belt. I'm just making sure I got the right name. Yeah, does extra damage. Because now that I'm thinking about choice band also, I'm getting confused between the two. Right? Again, I think this is just a standard deck, so that's a little odd that they're playing that, right? Pokemon Catcher, I think, got reprinted. Or did it rotate? I mean, obviously, it's a deregulation mark, so it's gone. I think it got reprinted, though. Like, the fact that they play DTE seems to indicate to me that it is strictly a standard deck, but it's still a very good deck, right? It still could win. The fact that I didn't get off my Alter Creation turn 1. Giving up 1 prize is okay, though everything else is multi-prizers. Now, they do take 3 prizes on ADP. So I may want to Guzma here. I think I do, right? Get a Genesect hopefully stuck in the active. Right, so they're thinning their hand with the quick ball so they can Genesect for more, as we'd expect. I guess they still have 1 more Genesect they can use. So it's a Meloetta version, I assume, with the Fusion Strike energy. Going to evolve, I assume, the other Mew. Getting rid of Meloetta. Meloetta does give the biggest damage potential, but they can one-shot the Zacian. Well, yeah, with the choice belt, they one-shot the Zacian, right? It does 220 minus 20 for, or 210, but it gets up to 220, right? Minus is 20, but then plus 30, so which is a net of plus 10. So they're going to knock me out, I have to assume. I'll send up Aegislash because I'm going to Guzma here. Alter Creation. We'll see if I can manage the comeback. Get the big metal sound effect in my Head, I do hope they fix this soon. I do have to say that for sure. So I could set up the one energy. Obviously, if they have retreat, they could help them retreat it off. So let's see what happens here. So I attach. Do I want to toss down another Zacian? It leaves me one bench slot left. Obviously, Aegislash, I don't like being there, but that's okay. Yeah, because I'm going to... No, I should not have done that. I keep confusing myself. I don't accelerate till next turn, right? So hopefully I need to survive this next turn. That's the big piece here, right? I should have waited on Zacian, but... all right, so they're got out of that. They're going to have a hard time one-shotting me, right? Because the choice belt doesn't help. Was that 2 choice belts or 1? Let me take a look. So they have 2 choice belts. So 30, 60, but 2, 10 minus, so 190. So I don't, they can't get there, I'm pretty sure. I'm not going to do all the math, but, no, well, I guess what if they get all 4 power tablets, they might get there. Let's see, trainers. They've played 1 before this turn, though, I think, right? I believe they just have 2 in effect. So it's a 250. So that's okay. So I will energy switch to my active. I can't knock them out, right? I think I want to energy switch so I can accelerate, and then I will DAA change to try to set up my next turn, really. Because I don't want a Marnie, I don't believe. We'll see. I'm not taking prizes here, so it's not great, is what I'll say. I could Guzma still, right? Could Guzma. Do I want to do that? Force them to switch again? Let me think. I've played 1 Guzma, right? Because 2 Vs win me game, right? So, maybe I do that. All right, I will Guzma. Zacian. I can retreat now. They might not be able to knock me out, right? That's my thought. I come up 10 short. Obviously, I could have even, like, all right, 3 metal energy, put them all onto the Zacian. Without the air balloon, right, I might want the Intrepid Sword. The air balloon helps if I don't get Intrepid Sword because it makes the gusting easier that I need to do, right? Making sure, yeah, I didn't play Intrepid Sword, so it's a possibility out there. Don't know that I will hit that. Right, this is where the damage numbers this deck does is not quite enough, right? I can obviously one-shot a, so I'm probably going to lose, right? Now I definitely have a chance to win now. And I like that. I like having a chance to win. I do. So I think, all right, I have a water energy. Do I want that? I guess it pays a retreat cost in case I get gusted up. It doesn't help with Zacian. I could energy switch somewhere, but I don't. Oh, I guess I should. Oh, that was a mistake. I should have attached the active energy switch to my other Zacian. So that was a mistake for sure. Okay, so get smarter about that. Metal Saucer is nice to have. I have Acro Bike. I might just want to. All right, so there's another energy there in the discard. I have some or 2 there, so I'll just take knockout here because they're going to knock out my Zacian, I assume. I can accelerate. We'll see what I have energies to accelerate. No energies. So that was a mistake. That was a major mistake I made about the energy, right? So that could cost me being able to attack with that other Zacian V. I would be able to get my third energy on next turn. Now, it shouldn't matter because I have the other Zacian to attack with. I have the potential of Metal Saucer, but that was a mistake. I should have watered onto the active and moved the energy over, right? So I have Guzma, though. I have Guzma for game, right? So this deck is coming through exactly as I would have wanted, right? So Mew did Mew-like things. They definitely had the opportunity to win the game. But ADP is proving to be the bigger bully than Mew. So Mew, the bully in standard for a while. ADP, the bully in expanded, right? 3 prizes, 2 Genesis X. So the fact that I couldn't hit through the Mew is okay. So there we go. So deck up against, I think, a standard deck there, but a very quality standard deck. So expanded, give it a try. ADP, a very strong deck. I guess the question you'll have to decide, if you don't have the ADPs, do you want to spend the cost to craft them? It's a basic, so it doesn't have to come from something else. Now, up to level 33, get 50 crystals. I'm never quite sure about these levels and what they mean, right? You get more points towards your levels the more you play. So anyway, it's nice. Again, don't know what it means. If you like expanded play, a couple things to encourage. I don't remember what I said during the video play. A couple things. One, let Pokemon know the support forums are a really good place to do that. Just in comments, say, hey, I like to leave comments about, I think, the most important things they need to be adding in periodically. Like, they need to have a game log, I think. So there's a lot of issues, people's comments that people make about things where the game log would fix it. So I say, yeah, you're right. And a game log would fix that problem. Just let Pokemon know that's a priority. The more people that make those comments, the better. Pokemon pays some attention. And then let on the forums them know that you'd like to be able to make friend requests for matches in Expanded. I think that's simple to do. They should be able to do that. And the other thing you can do, and I'd appreciate too, like the video, subscribe to the channel, especially if you want to see more expanded content. It lets me know that you like it. I'm going to only make content I like, but I do like expanded content, so I'm going to make some. I can prioritize it more the bigger the interest is. And also, if you watch other videos on expanded, there are a few people making the occasional videos on expanded in live. Watch those videos, like those videos, and even if you're a content creator, make videos on expanded yourself. The more there's a groundswell out there, the more Pokemon will be likely to prioritize making expanded accessible for friend requests and challenges, which make events expanded possible. Also allows for GLC and other alternate formats to be available in the larger card pool than standard. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Give the deck a try. It's fun to be the schoolyard bully at times, and have a good day. Take care.